things potentially going from bad to worse for Arsenal. Reports coming in that Edu, their sporting director, is set to leave the club at the end of the season after 5 years. Now, for more on this, we're joined by the two-time Premier League winning goalkeeper with Arsenal, David Seaman. Morning, David.
Morning, David. How you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad, guys. You?
Yeah,
Magic,
good, thanks.
mate,
How big a blow would that be to Arsenal and to Mikel Arteta if the stories about Edu leaving are proved to be correct?
Yeah, well, that's the first time that I've heard that, Jeff, and I hope that isn't true because, I get to see Edu when I go in at Arsenal like once a week coaching and with the young goalkeepers, and he's a great influence at the club. He's somebody that you want to keep. Obviously he's an ex-teammate of mine, an ex-double winning teammate of mine. So he's a good guy, and he's someone that you want to keep on. So hopefully that's not true.
David, listen, what about obviously the game at the weekend? I've sat and watched the game, David, and I've got to say I was a little bit disappointed in Arsenal. I thought they played away fine, but they actually didn't look themselves. And I said to Jeff when we came on at 6 o'clock, it's a funny one. Out of all the Arsenal players, and they've got a lot of key players, whether it was a centre-back they lost or Declan Rice, the one player that really, really looks as though they're really missing right now for me is Odegaard. I just think he's the one that brings something different to the party, mate.
Yeah, he's got that ability to unlock defences. He's got them little passes, and he's a big miss. He's been out for quite a while now, Ali, as well.
Yeah, I know.
So hopefully that's going to be. He'll be back soon. But as we saw at the weekend, he was a huge miss. Just because the amount of possession that Arsenal have. Okay, they didn't get many shots on target or even a goal, but. He's that type of player that unlocks defences and links everyone up. You've got Declan there doing a load of work.
Yeah.
Like mopping up everywhere. But when Odegaard comes in, he has that little bit of magic to the team, and hopefully he'll be back soon.
See, watching them at Newcastle, the word that came to mind for me was functional. Really, they just lacked some sort of flair. So reliant on Saka to produce something, or else set plays, but. Just missing a bit of spark.
Yeah, even the set plays were off at the weekend as well, Jeff. So that's not Arsenal. And they've got a massive test coming up at the weekend against Chelsea. But yeah, I know what you mean. I was watching. I was like, yeah, the spark's not there at the moment. And this run that they're on, where they haven't won for a while and they keep conceding, is not Arsenal-like. It's not the Arsenal that we've known. And we do need to be careful because, like teams like Liverpool, obviously Man City, that was a right bonus, by the way, Man City getting beat. And it nearly was an extra bonus when Liverpool were losing 1-0. And I thought, it's not going to be too bad, but then obviously they got their win, and then you've got people like Chelsea coming up as well, so... Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but this is like a little patch that every team goes through one, and hopefully this is Arsenal's one and only patch that they go through that's not producing points.
I don't know whether you agree or not, David. I think looking at the league this year probably as much as any year in recent years, I think that you'll get, and I use the word shock results, but they're not even so much as a shock nowadays. You look at Forest winning at Anfield, you look at Bournemouth at the weekend. You mentioned Chelsea. I just think there's a lot more teams very, very, very much more than capable of taking points off the likes of the Arsenals, the Cities and the Liverpools.
Yeah, the Premier League's been like that for a while, Ali. It's been, we do get these are they shock results anymore? When Forest went to Liverpool, everybody was like, but you look at Bournemouth, like beating Man City. They're not real shocks anymore, but that's the beauty of the Premier League. It's just so competitive, and it's a fantastic league.
It was slightly ironic in some respects, David, that Alexander Isak got the goal at the weekend. I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans have been suggesting to me they were linked repeatedly with him, that had they signed him, and he's not been in the best form this season, but had they signed him, the Arsenal story this season could be very different. Would you agree?
Yeah, a little bit. When you do watch them, especially at the weekend, Jeff, you look at them and you think, like an out-and-out striker, how good would that look? So yeah, he would be a great addition to anybody's squad, and if they could get him, great. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But as he showed at the weekend, he's got every finish in the put. His header was fantastic, and he's got great feet as well. So You know, sometimes I look at it and I think, oh, sign a striker, sign a striker. But then, you know, all of a sudden we go and pop 3 in against somebody and all the midfield guys score. So who am I to say?
Sounding increasingly, David, sorry to interrupt, sounding increasingly, if the Edu story is correct, it says the reports are saying it's his decision to leave, and he's been in talks with the club for some time now. So it does look like Edu, who's been responsible for so much, obviously, you know, not just the signings, but moving on people as well. It looks like he's going to be on the way out of the club. That's just a massive blow, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a shame for the club, you know, and it's a great loss. You know, like I said, not only is he a fantastic guy, you know, he's a great friend, but he was really good at what he was doing, you know. So, you know, if that does come true, then it's going to be a sad day for Arsenal fans.
Yeah. David, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, David. Good to talk, big man.
Cheers, guys.
Got a text in here from John, who I will say, before I read this, is a Spurs fan. But he says Edu is the entire reason for Arsenal's resurgence. If he goes, they'll go back to being nothing again. His strength was culling dead wood, his signings on the pitch and in building the backroom with set-piece specialists for Mikel Arteta. If Arteta goes, Arsenal will improve, he says. If Edu goes, the dream is over for a decade. But I would emphasise that's John, who is a Spurs fan, who's giving that view. But Edu, just briefly, Coach, he's been such a intrinsic part of Arsenal's success.
Absolutely. You know, he's key to the whole network, obviously, off the pitch. And some of the signings have been nothing short of sensational, to tell you the truth. So it's a little part of the jigsaw that will be removed and will take a bit of replacing, I would think.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.